A big weekend for Kansas City because this weekend baseball legend Buck O'Neil will finally be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. My co-anchor Lindsay Shively live for us this morning in the Buck O'Neil Tribute Park to talk about what a big moment this is, not just for Buck and his family, but his legacy and Kansas City's history in Major League Baseball.
And the community of people who love Buck O'Neil have been profoundly impacted by John Jordan. Buck O'Neil extends far beyond Kansas City and far beyond baseball. I got a chance to sit down with the chairman and CEO of the Kansas City Royals, John Sherman, to talk about that legacy and how it still is permeating through Major League Baseball today.
We feel Buck O'Neil's presence in Kansas City and baseball long since we've lost him. This weekend, his official induction to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, many see as a celebration a long time coming.
It's overdue. It's about time. I would definitely say that.
Kansas City Royals chairman and CEO John Sherman says one of his early memories of O'Neil came from the K.
Do you remember ever meeting him or seeing him?
You know, I did meet him or met him one time out here in the parking lot years ago. And interestingly, my grandfather, who was a huge baseball fan, was the one that pointed him out to me, knew his whole career. I've seen films of him, I've listened to him speak, and I'm looking forward to this weekend in Cooperstown. Even though he won't be there physically, it'll be a great celebration of his legacy, and I think it's also great for Kansas City.
His legacy living on in baseball and beyond, his career spanning decades, including time as a player, then manager for the Kansas City Monarchs. He became the first black coach in Major League Baseball and a tireless advocate for the history of Negro Leagues baseball and players, helping to found the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
I think it's one of our iconic cultural institutions in Kansas City. The story is so important to tell, and I think Buck, as one of the founders of that museum, has really had a huge impact on memorializing that story and making sure that we tell it. Institutionalizing that here in Kansas City, but also for the nation and the world, that story will be told far and wide. I think that is his greatest legacy for me as it relates to Kansas City.
O'Neil also served as a scout for the Kansas City Royals. His seat lives on now as the Buck O'Neil Legacy Seat.
We commemorate it every night,
recognizing people making an impact in our community.
But no, we commemorate. That's also about being in the spirit of Buck O'Neil. It's also the best seat in the house. I mean, you know, particularly back in the day, the scouts had the best seats in the house, and Buck's seat is right there.
That spirit of Buck O'Neil, grace and love.
Shed no tears for me, man. No. This is old Buck. God's been good to me. You can see that, don't you?
It's only been a couple of years since the records of Negro League baseball players were officially recognized by the MLB. Does something like that happen without the work that Buck O'Neil did?
No. No, I think that's a really good point. And I've been involved with the commissioner. This isn't something that just is in Kansas City, you know. Major League Baseball, the Players Association, everyone wants to put their arms around Buck, but also this institution here in Kansas City. It's unbelievable how hard it is to get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, this franchise has had some really great players and some great seasons, and we got one player and one journalist, so maybe that, and then Buck should have been in a long time ago, but let's not focus on that. Let's go to Cooperstown and celebrate his legacy this weekend.
So the team will be co-hosting an event Saturday with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Buck O'Neil's honor in Cooperstown. And fans at Sunday's Royal game here in Kansas City, they get a special NFT in honor of Buck O'Neil. Okay, NFT, if you don't know what that is a non-fungible token. So the team explained to us that this NFT will be sort of like digital artwork of a game ticket with your row and your seat, and it's commemorating his induction into the Hall of Fame. The game is at the same time as the induction ceremony, so that's really cool. So it's going to be like a collective ticket stub, but digital, that can be stored on a marketplace and sold later, or again, like a collector's item for you to keep from going to that game. Every ticket gets one that is at Sunday's game. And KSHB 41 News anchor Dia Wall heading to Cooperstown, New York to bring you live coverage of Buck's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Tomorrow at 5, we'll introduce you to a local author who's making sure the next generation knows Buck's story. Then tomorrow night at 10, we meet a local Little League team honoring Buck as they get the chance to play in Cooperstown this weekend. So incredible. On Sunday, we'll have coverage of the induction ceremony as Buck finally enters the National Baseball Hall of Fame. We hope you have learned so much this morning. I know I continue to learn about the amazing person and huge hero in Kansas City and baseball and beyond that John Jordan Buck O'Neil continues to be. Guys, back to you.